Good evening, baseball fans. Happy opening day eve. Can you feel it in the air? Can you feel it deep in your loins? I can. You know what else I can feel? A Red Sox World Series championship. Can you smell it? I definitely can. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. Baseball fans, hello. Who do we have here in the chat? We got a lot of familiar faces here in the chat. It's been a little bit since I've gone live, but it's opening day eve. We have to go live. It's a special day tomorrow. I'm excited. I love opening day. Opening day is amazing. Oh, I changed the background and everything. I hope everyone likes it. I wanted to kind of freshen it up a little bit. It looks a little snazzy if you ask me. I don't know. Maybe I'll make some tweaks here and there. But yeah, new season, new look. Look at the little pictures behind me. They're actually moving. I don't know anything about technology. I don't know how the heck I figured that out, but they're moving. How fun is that? But everyone, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited for the Red Sox to win the World Series this year. I don't care what you think. Eat my shorts. But it's going to be a fun season this year. I don't know why. It feels different from last year. I don't know if it just has to do with the lockout and everything felt kind of rushed last year. And then obviously, COVID a couple years prior to that. I don't know why. It just feels like fully back to normal now. Everything just feels right. Everything feels at peace in the world. And I'm excited to see some baseball tomorrow. Of course, I got to work tomorrow. Of course. I wish they did opening day on like a Saturday when everyone's home and everyone can go out and see the games. But they got to do it on a work day. It should be a national holiday. That is my personal opinion for opening day. It should be celebrated all throughout America. It should be on the same level as Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, what can I say? I love opening day. I don't know what it is. You wake up that day. And it really feels, if you're a big baseball fan, it feels like Christmas. I don't know why. It just does. I love when baseball comes back. The fresh cut grass, all the opening ceremonies at the stadiums, new team, new look, new hopes for the coming year. I'm excited for it. So, but everyone, thank you for joining me tonight. I'm already seeing a super chat coming in. Conman752, longtime supporter of the channel, big Orioles fan, hopeful for the Orioles this year. I'm sure he is. He says here, it's the most wonderful time of the year. What is the hottest non-Red Sox winning World Series you have? Man, Diamondbacks. I like the Diamondbacks this year. I don't know if it's, I don't know. I feel like I was the first one saying that like a few months ago, and then everyone else was saying that, the Diamondbacks, look out for the Diamondbacks. I think they were listening to me when I first said that, and I don't know. But that was my hot take for last year was the Cleveland Guardians doing well. And no one else thought that was going to happen, but I don't know. I think the Diamondbacks are going to be a pretty good team. I know I have some other ones in my head. I'll think of them as I go here. But tonight, what we're going to do, I'm just going to hang out, everyone. I'm going to be drafting my fantasy baseball team for this year. I'm pretty excited for that. It actually is underway already. I'm going to be up here in a few more picks. I've already picked my first two players. I've picked Ronald Acuna Jr. and Yordan Alvarez for my first two picks. So I'll be hanging out with all of you. I got some music going on in the background. And, I'll be doing kind of like just a Q&A, just a hangout, just spending time with all of your friendly faces at home. And speaking of the friendly faces at home, we have quite a few new subscribers over the last couple of days. I think we've gotten over, 250 new subscribers from the predictions video, as well as my power rankings that I did yesterday. If you haven't seen those, please go check them out, especially my predictions video, because they're going to be all wrong. And if I picked your team to do well, that's the kiss of death. So I don't know, maybe you don't want to go watch that video. But What else do I got to say? Oh, all the new people that are here with the channel, watching me live for the first time. This is what I do. This is kind of my main thing. I like to go live. I like to stream. I do a show a couple of times a week during the season, usually Wednesdays and Sundays. Wednesdays, I'll kind of just do like a middle of the week report. Kind of just hang out, at that time during the week, just kind of talk about what's going on in the world of baseball. And then Sunday, I usually do power rankings. So haven't fully figured out the new way I'm going to be doing the power rankings for this year. For right now, I'm going to be just doing like a weekly recap on Sundays. I'm not going to start power rankings probably until May. I'm going to let the first month go by. It's just kind of silly to do power rankings that first week of April. It makes no sense. So that's why I did the opening day power rankings, and then I'll start back up on them probably around May, probably beginning of May. That sounds right to do in my head. So let's get to it here, everyone. Let's get to it. But before I do get started, if there is anyone new, like I said, we got a lot of new faces here. If there anyone else, if you're just watching me for the first time, think about subscribing down below if you are new. We're trying to get to 30K, and I'm pretty excited for it. We're drawing closer and closer to it. So think about subscribing if you are new. Hit the like button, everyone. That really does help out with the algorithm. Hit the bell notification as well. That way you know I go live every single time, or I upload a video. I'm going to try and upload more, like anywhere like 10-minute videos this year. I'd like to do deeper looks at teams from the past. I'd like to maybe even do videos on players, just kind of do more videos like that. So be on the lookout for those. I did a couple of videos last year. I did one on the 2017 Cleveland Guardians. That was a pretty fun video to make. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Look out for videos like that. And everyone, if you can, share the stream, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, share it with your grandma down the street. I don't care. But everyone, also, our sponsor for tonight is BetOnline. If you are into the sports betting game, you definitely want to check out BetOnline. Use the code BLEAV, BLEAV, and you get a 50% welcome bonus. Baseball's starting back up, so if you are into the sports betting game, now is the time. If you want to bet on baseball, basketball's still going on. We got the Final Four coming up, UFC, so definitely check out BetOnline. And also, everyone, we have SeatGeek on here as well. Hey, season starts tomorrow. Season starts tomorrow. If you're looking to go to a game, you got a full season ahead of you. Use my code Hyde. You get $20 off on your first purchase, so make sure you take advantage of that code. I know I'm probably going to be going to a few games this year. I might have to use my own code myself. So, everyone, let's get to it here. No more time to lose. We're seeing right around 100 people here. Thank you for stopping by on opening day eve. Let's get to it here. Am I on the clock here? What is going on? All right, here we go. Let's put the music on. Music is on. Here we go. So, fantasy baseball time. Gotta love some fantasy baseball. So, I've already picked a few of my players. I had a lot of players in the queue because I knew it was probably going to start. I wasn't going to be able to start it while I was also starting this stream. I probably should have started the stream a little bit earlier. There's my potato brain kicking in. But I did queue up a lot of players, and I'm really liking my team right now. I mean, look at my team so far. We got Francisco Lindor, Ronald Acuna Jr., I got Rafi Devers. Gotta love that. Yordan Alvarez. I'm loving my team. I'm going to say this right now. I break necks and cash checks when it comes to fantasy baseball. I will wreck you in fantasy baseball. I have won many championships in my day. Don't even come at me. Don't even come at me. But I'm liking my team so far. I need pitching, though. I need pitching. So, everyone, I'm going to be taking a look at the chat. Feel free if anyone wants to make sure they have a comment pop up on the screen. Super chats are open if you do want to do that. So, taking a look here, when we're looking here, at some of these players that are still available. I mean, I'll tell you, Spencer Strider. Last year, he was so good, man, and then he got banged up a little bit towards the end of the year. Didn't look great in the playoffs. I'm really excited to see what he can do for this year. I'll tell you who else I'm really excited about this year. Randy Arozarena. I tell you, Randy Arozarena, this is a guy, I feel like he hasn't hit his full stride yet. This is a guy, I think he could have a 30-30 season this year. I think he can hit 30 homers, steal 30 bases. I really see something like that. I wonder, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but I wonder if he could be a contender for MVP. I just like him, man. He's just a good all-around player. I want to see more hits from him. I want to see better defense as well. I wonder if there is something there with him. Corbin Carroll. I'm excited about Corbin Carroll this year. But taking a look here, while I am on the clock, I still got a little ways to go. We actually have some news from today. The Yankees signing Franchy Cordero. I did not expect that. A lefty bat coming in. Hey, you know what? Franchy Cordero, this is a guy, he's got raw power. You know, he had a walk-off grand slam for the Red Sox last year. That was pretty awesome. He was with the Orioles, and I guess he got cut. So, I don't know. But going with the Yankees, you know, with that, with right field at Yankee Stadium, this guy, I think, could end up being a pretty decent bat for them. Look out. I like that move for the Yankees. And I got to say this, too. I talked about it in my power rankings that I posted yesterday. I love that the Yankees did it. I love that they put Anthony Volpe on the team. You know, I was really worrying if they were going to do it. Like, I was almost like 50-50. I thought they definitely could have sent him down to the minor leagues because the Yankees, I'm not saying this as a Red Sox fan. I'm just looking at it just from what I've seen, like over the last, you know, how many years now. It just feels like they're always a year or two behind. All right. And I was thinking, like, man, you got to put Volpe on this team. And I really thought they were going to put him at AAA. And I'm glad they didn't, man, because that's exactly what the Yankees need. The Yankees need energy on that team. They need a boost. They need like a shot of adrenaline there. And, you know, Volpe to me was the perfect guy. Even if he struggles early on, unless it's like really bad, like Torkelson level from last year, I would just let him work through it. I wouldn't send him back down to the minor leagues. He earned his spot there. I really would just let him figure it out if he does struggle, man, because that's a guy, you know, he's going to give you a good glove. He's going to give you good speed. I like Volpe on that Yankee team, man. Respect to the Yankees for actually doing that. I was worried, man. I was worried. And hey, I wonder, man, I think the Yankees, they're going to make some kind of moves by the deadline this year. You got Peraza there. Is Peraza on the team? I actually haven't fully looked at this. Let's see here. Oh, what the heck did I just do? Let's see. And it's looking like for the Red Sox, they sent Duran down. Sent him down. And I'm actually not surprised about that because he played in the World Baseball Classic, or he wasn't even really playing all that much. I think he only had like a few at-bats. I think he was more doing like pinch running kind of duties because of his speed. He wasn't getting any at-bats at spring training. This is a guy, he came in, new mechanics with his swing. To me, that seems like the more logical thing to do with him at this point is to send him down to AAA to just get some more at-bats, keep working on that swing. And Raimel Tapia, man, he really looked good this spring. So it looks like Peraza, I guess he got sent down. So Peraza is going to be in AAA to, start the year. Okay. Well, yeah, Peraza did not look very good in spring, so I'm not surprised about it. So, but this, I really would keep an eye out for Peraza to come back up at some point. Good glove, good speed. He was playing in the postseason last year. Oh, I'm up here. I'm up. Who the heck am I going to pick? I really need pitching, but man, I got Corbin Carroll on the clock. Do I want to take man, I don't know. I need pitching. You got Urias here. You got Manoah. Hey, you know what? We got Kevin Gausman right here. I know we got Corbin Carroll here at the top. Kevin Gausman, man, I think this guy has himself a year. But, I like Carroll, man. I like Carroll. I need one more out. You know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for Carroll. I'm going to go for it. I'm going really heavy on the offense early on. I'm going to have to make up for the pitching here in the later picks. I like Carroll, man. I really do. I think he could have himself a really good rookie season. I don't know if he's going to be at the level of like a Julio Rodriguez for his rookie season. To me, rookies, they're always fun, right? You always get excited about them, but they're always going to go through growing pains. Even J-Rod had his moments last year. He obviously had a great season, but there were times where he was kind of going through it just a smidge. But James Hirota, man, one of our members here, Nicholas Carrasio, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. How you doing? What do we got here? Peraza will be traded to the Angels along with 4 prospects for Ohtani. Man, Could you imagine that? I don't think the Yankees have the I don't know. Could a deal of Peraza, Dominguez? I don't think the Yankees do it. I don't think a team. I'm starting to think Ohtani just ends up staying with the Angels this year. I do think the Angels are going to be good. I think they're going to be in contention for the wild card. I don't think they're going to flame out this year like they did last. The Angels were in a good spot last year, and then they lost 14 straight games, and then Joe Madden got fired. So I think the Angels are going to be fine. I think they're going to have themselves a better year. Oh, I'm up here. I'm up again. Okay, I really need pitching now. Caden Litchford has become a member. Everyone, hey, if you'd like to become a member of the channel, definitely think about it. If you become a member, you get access to a private Discord if you want to talk baseball throughout the day. So definitely think about becoming a member. I believe I can't even remember what I think it's 99 cents to become a member, or I don't even remember. Check the rates. It's not that expensive. But taking a look here, and then also for higher tiers, you get access to that Discord, but you get to vote. That's another thing I'm going to do this year because I want to do more edited, pre-recorded content, like on, former teams, former players. I'm going to let all of you help me vote. I got to pick someone here. I'm going Kevin Gausman. I like Kevin Gausman. Gausman wrecked my Red Sox last year, so I like Gausman. But what was I saying? Oh, if you do become a member for higher tiers, you're going to be able to help me pick which teams or which players I'm going to do a video on. So definitely consider it. It is an option for you down below. If not, that is perfectly okay. You can just stop on by and see my potato face whenever you want. So here we go. Nick Kowal is here. How you doing, Nick? I know you're probably excited about your Mets. I see Dalton Varsho down here. I see Varsho. Varsho, I'm excited to see what he can do for the Blue Jays this year. I'm telling you, Toronto Blue Jays, man. Toronto Blue Jays. It's funny because last year, right, they had a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype, and they did well. I think 92 and 70 for their record. They just never felt like they really fully put it together. I'm like wondering with this Blue Jays team, the approach they took in the offseason was pretty interesting to me. Not only did they make upgrades, with players like Varsho, bringing in Swanson, but they traded away Teoscar Hernandez and they traded away Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Now, if I were going to look here, I believe last year, I think the Blue Jays weren't a great fielding team. So if I were to look, defensive runs saved overall, the Blue Jays, where were they? They were 8th overall in defensive runs saved. Let me see the outfield. So here we go. Defensive, I feel like they weren't very good with their outfield last year. Yeah, they were 21st overall in the outfield. They had -6 defensive runs saved. So if you look at the additions that they made, getting rid of Hernandez, getting rid of Lourdes Gurriel Jr., bringing in Dalton Varsho, and bringing in Kevin Kiermaier, right? I really like the defensive upgrade for them. I think that's going to go a long way. And for someone like Kevin Gausman, who's more of a fly ball guy, I think that's going to go really well for him. I think that's going to go hand in hand. So, and what I liked about what the Blue Jays did this offseason was not just improving the defense, adding left-handed bats. I just like the way these guys carry themselves. They bring intangibles. I feel like they bring some sort, like a gritty sort of an attitude. They bring, like someone like Varsho, he kind of, like the way he plays, he gets dirty. Kiermaier too, man. Kiermaier is like one of those, he's not going to be the best player on your team, but he's one of those just leaders, he just comes to work every day. He's just one of those guys that tries to lead by example, right? And he plays his butt off out there in the field. So and someone like Brandon Belt, who's a veteran guy, he was the captain. Was that his nickname with the Giants? Whatever, he had the boat hat or whatever it was. I just see gritty guys here, like dirt dog kind of players with the Blue Jays, and I feel like they needed something like that. Sending away Hernandez and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I remember watching a couple of games of the Blue Jays last year. I'm seeing these guys in the outfield, like they're running after a ball out there, and I think it was one play, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I think he kicked the ball and he just ran after it like kind of lazily. I don't know, man. I was just like really. It was so off-putting when I watched that. I can't fully remember the play, but I remember thinking, like, what the heck is this guy doing? But I like this Blue Jays team, man. They just seem all around a lot better. So I'm excited to see what they can do. They're my pick to win the division, and I just like the depth of the rotation. I think the bullpen looks a lot better than it did last year. Like, I mean, you got 5 guys in the top 100 on the Fangraphs power rankings here. You got Meza, Bass, Garcia, Swanson, Romano. That's a pretty decent bullpen if you ask me. And then Simber as well, sorry. I like it. I think they could use another lefty. That would be nice. So, but I like this Blue Jays team, man. I like it. What do we got here? Shooter McGavin. The Jays are cursed, just like the Maple Leafs choking dogs. Man, I think if there is a year for the Blue Jays, I think this year is different. They don't have that hype behind them. They're I feel like they're still hanging around like under the radar a little bit. I feel like the Yankees are getting more attention. The Astros still have a lot of attention on them. I think people have almost accepted that the Astros are here to stay and they're here to win World Series. I mean, it took how many times getting to the ALCS? I think they made it to the ALCS 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Yeah, so they made the ALCS 6 years in a row. It took that many times and that many World Series for people to finally just say, okay, all right, this Astros team is really good. Can you call the Astros a dynasty right now? I think if the Astros win this year, they're a dynasty. They're absolutely a dynasty. So, what do we got here? James Hirota, how the Braves get guys on such amazing deals, I don't know. It's the Braves, man, have really set themselves up just in such a nice way over the next however many 5-7 years. I mean, the Braves are going to be so consistent every single year. They're a popular pick for this year. I do think. For me, I'm still going with the Dodgers to have the best record in the National League. I'm not going to go. I know the Dodgers look weaker, but they're just such a strong organization. People look at the Rays, right? People look at the Tampa Bay Rays and they say, wow, such a well-run organization where they dip into their farm system whenever they need to. The Dodgers are the same exact way. And the Dodgers are the Rays with money. Like, that's why the Dodgers are just so good every single year. Here we go. We're on the clock. I need pitching. We got to go pitching heavy this year. This round, sorry. Here we go. Here we go. Let me go to the starting pitchers. Okay, so we got Rodon at the top. I don't know, Rodon. If Darvish is a guy that's going to give you innings, I do like that. Kirby, I wonder, how many innings did he pitch? He pitched 130 innings, so I feel like they will probably increase that to maybe like 150, somewhere around there, maybe like 160, somewhere in that range. Darvish, you got Valdez here. Man, I'm gonna go Valdez. I like that. Gosman and Valdez. I like it. I'm liking my team right now. I'm liking the way my team is looking, man. I'm liking it. Shooter McGavin, any news on Noah Song? How was Noah Song? Man, I was really upset when the Red Sox decided to get rid of him. They let him go in the, I believe, in the Rule 5 draft. Let's see. How is he doing? 117 people in the chat. Thank you for stopping by on opening day eve. If you can, please hit the like button. I know that's kind of annoying for, to hear YouTubers say that constantly, but it helps with the algorithm. So, what do we got here? Let's go to the spring stats. What am I doing? He's not pitch. He's not. No, he's not. He didn't even pitch in spring. So because he's with the Air Force right now. But you know what? Let me go back. Let's see. No song, Fangraphs. So I wanted to pull up the scouting report. But yeah, I think that was a good get. So he was at. Was he? I believe he was at spring training. I feel like I saw a video of him pitching. So I guess he didn't really pitch in any games. So he was actually shut down. I didn't realize that because he was having back tightness. So this is a guy. Look out, man. Good fastball. Good looking slider, good curveball as well. It was a shame that he, I get it. He was serving, signed up for the Air Force. He's trying to serve his country. But it was, it was a little disappointing. I was hoping he was going to be able to pitch, and they never gave him, the permission, to go forth and, go for a career in baseball. So, but at some point we will see him, I believe. Here we go. The Red Sox get him back if he doesn't make the Phillies roster. Is that true? Is that how? Because that's how it works. The rule. I always forget how the Rule 5 draft works. Is he off the Navy, or is the Navy? Was it? I can't remember. Noah Song. It's been a little while since I've heard anything about him, but I remember he went to the Phillies. They put him on the IL so they don't have to give him back to Boston. No, that makes sense. If that's really what it is. So, but let's take a look here. Fantasy baseball. Oh, I'm on the clock. What the heck is going on? I'm going Darvish. Thank God Darvish was still there. All right, I'm liking my pitching now. Gausman, Valdez, Darvish. So I went offense heavy early on, going crazy with pitching now. So I got a little while before I got my next pick. So, but everyone, Q&A. Make sure you ask me some questions here in the chat. I'm answering any questions that you may have. What do we got here? Nick Kowal still talking about the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are more mature now. They brought in character guys because they had all the talent already. And that's kind of what I was saying, bringing in those dirt dog kind of players, guys that aren't afraid to get dirty, man, and they're going to go out there and play hard. So it was kind of funny when you looked at the players that they were adding. They all kind of fit under that umbrella. So it kind of seems like, I wonder if there was like a bit of like almost like a clubhouse thing last year. I remember a lot of people were thinking like, wow, they traded Teoscar Hernandez, and his numbers had dipped a little bit, but it does make me wonder if there was anything going on in the clubhouse. So, but Sean, how you doing, man? Opinions on the Orioles. I was talking about the Orioles in my power rankings, right? I gave the Orioles a B. I think a lot of people would put the Orioles at a C. I felt a little more generous with this Orioles team. Now, they get a lot of comparisons with the Detroit Tigers, right? The Tigers, 2 years ago, I think they had 79 wins, right? They were ahead of schedule. They were looking fun. They had all these young players coming up. Torkelson, Riley Green. They were looking like they were really going to take that next step. And then they signed Javier Baez, Eduardo Rodriguez. They took a step back, and then they just absolutely stunk last year. The Orioles, to me, I don't know. My gut is telling me they're not going to be that way. I still think they're going to be a good team. A lot of other people a lot of people I've seen think that they could end up taking a step back like the Tigers did. Maybe not that to that level, but still taking a step back. I'm seeing some people also saying out there that they could stay probably right around the same because they were ahead of schedule last year, but they're going to come back down to earth just a little bit. I would not be surprised at all if the Baltimore Orioles could they approach 90 wins? I mean, we've seen crazier things, man. That's the one thing. That's what's hilarious. Like when I do these prediction videos, it's just so funny when I see all these comments like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. This guy, he has no idea. Why does this guy even have a channel? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, they're predictions. They're fun. Like there's literally you can't predict anything. It's just ridiculous. But what the point of predictions is to just get the conversation started. It's funny. I had a lot of comments in that video saying like, oh, man, this guy is clearly biased for the Red Sox. I didn't even pick the Red Sox to make the playoffs in 2022. I had them missing the playoffs. After they made the ALCS the year prior, I still had them missing the playoffs. So, I don't know. I'm Draft Nick Robbie. Anyway, sorry. I'm talking about the Orioles. It's hard, to always predict, obviously, how teams are going to finish. But I have this weird feeling about the Orioles that they could end up getting even just a little bit better. Maybe around 85, 86 wins. Here's the thing. I just love when you have a guy like Adley Rutschman. I love that. Like, he would have been the rookie of the year last year if Julio Rodriguez just didn't set the world on fire. Adley Rutschman was awesome last year. What I love about him, he's 25 years old. And he just already feels like he is just the captain of this team, right? Even with all these other guys that, veteran kind of guys or guys that have been in the league a bit longer, like Mullins and Santander and Mountcastle and Hayes, and Frazier, obviously. I think this is actually a pretty decent looking team because you got youth, with Rutschman, with Gunnar Henderson coming up as well. You got guys that have been in the league for a few years now, like Mullins, Santander, Mountcastle, Hayes. And then you got a guy like Frazier. He's not going to be a game changer by any means, but he's going to be a guy that just gives you a lot of contact. He's a pro's pro, a veteran guy. He's going to be fine to have in this lineup. And then you got Jorge Mateo, who was really good defensively last year. I hear the bell on Fantasy Baseball. We got a couple of picks coming up. Daquan Davis, how you doing, my friend? $4.99 Super Chat. I'll read that in just a second. I feel like I could use a guy for saves. Or am I getting a little ahead of myself? Because I'm seeing Camille Duvall right here. You know who I think is going to have a pretty good year? Blake Snell. Blake Snell was really good in the second half last year. Joe Musgrove always scares me with health. Logan Gilbert, I think, is fine. Kenley Jansen's here. Kirby. I like Kirby and Gilbert. I feel like Snell could really, really step up this year. I'm going to do a bit of a reach. I don't know, because I feel, could he be, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go Kenley. Oh, that was a panic pick. Panic pick, I think. I went Kenley. I need saves. Oh, did I just do a panic pick? Oh, I just did a panic pick. No, I don't like this pick. No, I don't want to pick Kenley Jansen. I love Kenley. I choked, everyone. I choked on that pick. Oh, I hate this pick. I love Kenley, man. I'm hoping for the best this year, but I didn't want this pick. I think I could have waited and gotten him in a little bit. Oh, I choked on that one. Dang, man. This is why I got to pay attention. Anyway, next pick. Let's do a Q. I don't know. Kirby, I wonder if he has a bit of a sophomore slump a little bit. Gilbert, I think, is going to keep being fine. I love Lodolo. Lodolo could have a sophomore slump as well. He looked pretty good. I like Blake Snell, but I think I could get him later on. That's a guy I think I can definitely wait longer because he's ranked 111, so he's not even going to pop up. So I wonder if a lot of these people are just looking at the overall. I need pitching. Well, you know what? I need a second baseman. I need a first baseman. Oh, they got Nate Lowe here. Ooh, I like Nate Lowe. You know what? I like Nate Lowe. I'm going to do it. Nate Lowe. I like it. Let's get to it here. Let's get back to the super chat. Daquan Davis, thank you so much, my friend. Christian Pache to the... Oh, that was another thing. Christian Pache to the Phillies. Came out of nowhere. Real good defensive pickup for them. Hoskins' injury definitely hurts their offense, though. Yeah, let's pull this up here. Yeah, I just saw this earlier. Here we go. So, yeah. Wow, man. It's crazy how much this guy has fallen off. Like, he was a top prospect. He was playing in the playoffs a couple of years ago for the Braves. He is hitting well in this spring training. He's got 43 ABs. He's got 13 hits, hitting 302, a 362 on base. Now, what was the trade? 24-year-old Pache, he's out of minor. That's another thing, too. He's out of minor league options. And what did he hit last year? He hit 166 last year. Gosh, a 459 OPS. Really struggled. The thing with Pache, it's the glove. He's always been known for the glove. He's amazing in the outfield. But taking a look here, he's out of options. That's always something with these teams. When guys are out of options, it makes it tough. But he was added to the 40-man roster. Pache was considered the top prospect in the Braves organization, number 12 overall prospect in baseball entering 2021. He has speed and defense, but he's struggled to hit at the big league level. I want to see the trade. What was the trade for? Here it is, for Billy Sullivan. Now, as you all know, I love me some baseballtradevalues.com, the best baseball trade simulator on the market. Let's take a look here. Do we have it here? Here it is. Here's the trade itself, and it is approved. Billy Sullivan actually had a smidge more value than Christian Pache. And I believe that was because of the options and the performance. So, yeah, I think it's really what it is. Billy Sullivan. Let's pull him up. Taking a look here. So, he's going back to the A's. 23 years old. Let's take a look. Do we have any scouting on him? But if we're looking at the numbers. So, okay, so he's basically a reliever at this point. Last year, in 51 innings, he had 77 strikeouts. That's pretty good. He walked 36 guys. That is kind of a lot, as you can see here. 6.3 walks per 9. But, you know, hey, the A's, I feel like, have turned, like, these kind of guys into kind of out of nowhere sort of guys. You know, like, who knows? Could he end up helping the A's in their bullpen in the next couple of years? Maybe. But it is interesting here with the Phillies. Now, I think, let's go here to the Phillies. I don't think he's on the Major League roster, right? I mean, they do have injuries. So is he on the roster? He is. So he's going to be okay. So right now, it just seems like, you know, with losing Hoskins, they probably just feel like they need another guy, you know, just for depth in the outfield. And that, I mean, even if he is just going to give you defense, you know, that's not bad. Castellanos obviously is not really known for his glove. Brandon Marsh is fine out there. He's not going to be amazing by any means. What was his defense last year? Starting in center field, batting ninth. That was a week ago. Never mind. So Marsh was good defensively last year, but Pache is definitely going to be the better defender. So it just looks like he's depth at this point, just to give you another glove. And then when Harper comes back eventually, you know, that's going to be, yeah. So I wonder what happens with Pache then. So, hey, you know, it's interesting. Pache, this is a guy, man. Man, you know, people were looking at him like the next Andrew Jones. You know, like that's how good he was looking. But, hey, for the Phillies, hey, defense was not a good thing for them last year. They got better defensively, so I'll take it for them. I'll take it. What do we got here? What do we got here? What do we got? Oh, I'm hearing my turn is up. All right, so I remember I got my eyes on Blake Snell. I think I can still hang on to I can get Blake Snell. I can still wait a little bit. I don't think Nick Castellanos. I don't know. I'm a little worried about Castellanos. I think he could be a little better this year. I just wonder how much better. I don't know. He worked with the hitting coach all off season. I'm not quite sure about Castellanos. God, Willie Adames, but I already got my shortstop in Lindor. Hey, look at Volpe. Number 100 on here. CJ Cron, his advanced numbers dipped a little bit last year. Andrew Vaughn's an interesting one. I think right now, though, I do need a catcher. I got Alejandro Kirk sitting right here. Got Kirk. He can DH as well. I'll go Kirk. I'll go Alejandro Kirk. I need me a catcher. All right. So, let's get back to here. What do we got here? Sean, one thing that doesn't get talked about a lot with Rushman that the pitchers like is at the end of each inning, he walks off the field with them and talks about the pitchers. Yeah, I love Rushman. I think Rushman is one of those guys. He kind of just brings the team together. He's like the glue that holds the team together, you know? I'm just saying, I like Rushman a lot. I think I was talking about the Orioles earlier. I think they could be right there again for a wild card spot. I'm not going to say they're going to win any divisions, Who knows? We've seen crazier things. I will say this. I did mention this in my power rankings video. The Out of the Park Baseball 24 that just came out last week. I ran 10 simulations. Okay? 10 simulations. I wrote down all the World Series winners on there. Had a lot of they had the Dodgers winning it like 4 times. The Braves got a couple. I think the Astros got a couple. I think the Padres had 1. I got to look. But the Orioles on Out of the Park Baseball, I turned off injuries. I don't remember if I turned off trades. But the Orioles, when I looked at the roster, not really anything had changed with the roster. So, but the Orioles, 5 out of 10 times made the playoffs in those simulations. They either won a wild card or even won the division a couple of times. I wonder, man, could the Orioles do what the Tigers were supposed to do? I don't know. What I did like about the Orioles offseason, it's kind of like you can go kind of 2 ways here. Like a lot of Orioles fans really wanted the Orioles to go out there and get a guy. But we saw the Tigers do that with Baez and Erod, and it didn't work out. What I liked about the Orioles is you could look at it in a way where they stayed patient, right? They did add a few pieces like Kyle Gibson, and they made a trade for Cole Irvin. So what I like about that is you're going to get innings out of these guys. But it seems like the Orioles now, they're kind of going more for like a plan, like an approach, going more for fly balls, right? Remember they moved that left field back. So it seems like the Orioles are they're focusing on that sort of a game plan a little bit. Not amazing starting pitching, but I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to get starts every 5th day from these guys. I feel like these guys should be able to make their starts every 5th day. Now, if we go to the 2022 stats, all of these guys Dean Kramer was at 21 starts, and I think Dean Kramer ended up coming up later on. I don't remember when he had 13 starts, but remember was he at AAA to start the year? He was at AA. I don't remember when he had his first start. Okay, so he didn't even come up until June. Oh, I hear, uh-oh, I gotta stop doing this, man. Oh, man. Jose Altuve. I know Altuve's hurt, but I like Altuve. I'll have him on the bench. What is going on here? I got to focus more on that, on the fantasy baseball. I think that might have been a bad pick. But what do we got here? Yeah, Dean Kramer. All of these guys, I think, are going to be able to make at least 25 starts. We got 5 guys that can make starts. I think that's pretty good if you ask me. I think it's pretty good. Hey, Ballcap Sports is here. Welcome to the stream, Ballcap. Happy opening day, Eve. Yes, I'm drafting and streaming at the same time. It's not going very well, my last couple of picks. I panicked. I took Kenley Jansen too early. Didn't like that. And I actually just took Jose Altuve. I think that, now that I think about it, maybe that wasn't very good to do. But he will be back eventually. He'll be fine. I like my offense, honestly. When I'm looking at this offense, I like it. I mean, I think it's pretty good if you ask me. I like my starters, Gausman, Valdez, Darvish. Jansen, whatever. He's going to give me some saves. Jansen's going to give you 30 saves, right? And I'm also doing, just to point out too, I'm doing head-to-head categories. So I need saves because that is one of the categories. I believe that is one of the categories. So either way, I like my team right now. I like my team. Everyone, go subscribe to Ballcap if you have not already. Jim, man, I'm excited about this year. I know you are too. What do we got here? Wolfpack. Orioles are due to have another rebuild. I don't think so. I think the Orioles are going to keep doing what they're doing. What do we got? Caden Lickford, how you doing? Who do you think will be the best pitcher for the Orioles this year? I think Cole Irvin is a guy that is going to give you innings. That's what I liked about him. He's not going to be amazing by any means, but I like that he's going to give you innings. I think he'll be fine when it comes to that. I mean, Dean Kramer was good last year. I thought he was pretty good. You know? Could he? I mean, he needs more innings. Can they bump him up to like 150 innings this year? I think if he can do that, I think that's pretty good. I'd probably go Kramer. I think Irvin could end up being the kind of that piece that kind of holds it all together, because you know he's going to be a durable guy and he's going to make his starts. So I'll go probably Dean Kramer. But don't forget, you got Grayson Rodriguez. Grayson Rodriguez didn't look amazing at spring training this year. So he's going to go back down to the minor leagues and he's going to work on some things. But I believe we will see him at some point. I think once he gets himself right. Remember, he was coming back from an injury. You know, give him a little bit more time. I think he's going to end up being fine. A little bit of a bummer not seeing him in the opening day rotation. That would have been awesome. But could he end up being that guy? I don't know. DL Hall, look out for him too. I'm not sure how his spring went, but it looks like he's going to be starting out at AAA as well. But I'm excited to see these two guys, man. I'm excited. So, what do we got? Still talking Orioles here. YY Walshy, how you doing? I think the Orioles are very talented, but it's pretty much just their starting pitching that's the problem. If they just had one really good starter, I think they'll be a playoff contender. I'll tell you, the Red Sox in 2021, excuse my giraffe neck Robbie here, but they didn't have a great-looking rotation going into that year. You had Martin Perez as like your number 2 guy. You had Garrett Richards in that rotation. Like, the rotation was not good looking. It was pretty flat looking. But they made their starts every 5th day. They just made their starts. They went 5 innings, 6 innings. They gave the bullpen a chance. And the Orioles bullpen is pretty good. So I think this Orioles team, man, I think they know what they're doing. I think they're going to be last year, sure, they exceeded expectations a little bit, but I think they still could be a really pesky team this year, man. I think they could be right there going after a wild card. Frank Ryan, has Yoshida been drafted yet? How about Yoshida, huh? How about Yoshida? Where's he at? Oh, man. Yoshida is going to be a late round guy, man. I'm picking Yoshida if he's still there. Oh, I got to go. Here we go. All right, I'm going to think out this pick here. I'm going to think it out. I got a utility guy or a utility spot available. I still got 3 pitchers. I think I'm going to go pitcher here. Oh, Snell. Snell is still there. And right now, it is a good value pick at 111. Hey, I'm going to go Snell. I think Snell has a pretty good year. He looked really good in the second half. And I think that's going to carry over. Let's take a look at Snell. I mean, he's the opening day starter. Look at that. I didn't even realize he was starting opening day. Look at the FIP. 2.80 FIP last year, which was lower than his ERA of 3.38. And if we take a look at the splits, second half, look at that first half, a 5.22 ERA. Second half was a 2.19, right? And if you look at the FIPS, 3.69 in the first half, but a 2.23 in the second half. I think Snell's going to bust out, man. I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be, I feel like people, when they look at let's talk the Padres. We're on the Padres. So, oh, Nick, did it say he was drafted? Oh, did my potato brain just kick in? No. I thought he was still there. Oh, he said drafted. Dang it. Who took Yoshida? Oh, someone took him just here, right here, round 10. Dang. Took my guy, man. Took my guy. I hate it here. Anyway, let's get back to it. We're on the Padres. We're on the Padres now. Hey, I think a comment that I was seeing a lot in my predictions was about the Padres and the Dodgers, right? the Padres, a lot of people think if there is a year the Padres can win this division, this is the year. And, I mean, they definitely can. Absolutely. I'm not going to pick away from the Dodgers until they actually lose it. But this is, if there is ever a team, a Padres team that can do it, it is absolutely this year. I'm on the clock again. I'll get back to the Padres in just a second. So, I mean, I still have a couple of pictures available. Still need one more utility guy. I am going to have to get an actual, like, second baseman because Altuve is going to be out. So, oh, what is this? Jeff Passan. What is this? Jeff Passan is giving us a scoop on something. Here we go. A deal. I always like these comments. Oh, I gotta pick someone. Crap. Oh no. Oh, okay. I'll take Willy Adames. Can Adames play second? Aw. Dang, I didn't want Adames. Oh, that's okay. Here we go. Jeff Passan just tweeted something a minute ago. Breaking news. A deal is in place between the minor league players in the Players Association and Major League Baseball on the historic first collective bargaining agreement for minor leaguers. Union officials tell ESPN. Deal is 5 years and includes at least 2 times the pay at all the levels. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Wow. This is huge news. That's crazy. Hey, good for these minor leaguers, man. Good for these minor leaguers. Wow. Hey, man, these guys, you know, some of these guys are getting paid like nothing at the minors, man. And they got to go work. I was reading, I don't remember who it was. There was like a minor leaguer who he was like going to work at Target in the off season or something. Like, I mean, gosh, these guys like really weren't making all that much. Now, if you're a higher draft pick, sure, or international signing, okay, that's a little different. But some of these guys who were like in the minors, like barely hanging on to like a low A ball, you know, spot, you know, a high A ball spot, they're like not really making a whole lot, you know. I think that's great. I really do think, you know, and I'm hoping there's more. I want to see what other perks are in this. You know, obviously doubling the pay is going to be a good start. But I definitely want to see more of what else is in this deal. I think that's great news. Fantastic news for minor leagues, or for the minor leaguers. That's awesome. One more time. It's for 5 years, 2 times the pay at all levels. So does that mean... So I guess my question is, if a guy was a draft, like Marcelo Meyer, he's in AAA, or he'll probably be in AAA by this year. He's going to be starting out at high A ball, but if he is in like AA and whatever, like, or if he gets to AAA, is he going to be making more money? Because he got a big signing bonus. So, or I don't know how that works exactly. So I think that's a signing bonus. So that's different. So that's not going to mean anything when it comes to like their pay, right? So, hey, good news. You can't complain about this. When guys, you know, are getting compensated more, it's never a bad thing. So, but I do want to see what else is in this deal. I think that's really good news. But until we see more, I can't really talk about it more. But, you know, some of these guys, like, you know, I've been reading about some of the stuff with the minor leaguers in the past, like, you know, living situations, you know, sleeping on guys' couches and stuff. And it's like come on, like, you know, it's like one thing, right? If you have a job, you know, somewhere, you know, making 40, 50K a year, and, you know, and you have a place, you know, that you can pay your rent and whatnot. But some of these guys, it's like, some of the money that some of these guys were making, it was like nothing, right? But they're on the road a lot, and like, you know, to the fact that you got to be like sleeping on couches and, you know, stuff like that, it's just like, come on, You know, that's not great, man. So I feel like some of these teams, they did something about the housing, if my memory serves me correctly. I feel like all minor leaguers like have to have housing now. I think I read that. I can't fully remember. I remember that was like over the last couple of years, but yeah. But hey, Wolfpack 1977, you know, you make a good point. Who hasn't slept on a friend's couch when trying to make it? Yeah, you know, sometimes we got to go through those hurdles in life, and we got to go through those tough times. You know, yeah, that's a good point too. But you know, for me, if these guys are, you know, out on the road day after day, you know, I think they probably should have some better accommodations, especially with organizations that are obviously making a lot of money. You know, I think they should be taking care of these guys a bit more. And to me, if I'm an organization, I would like for these guys to be, you know, have better accommodations and better situations, because, hey, if these guys can turn into better ball players, that's only going to help me, right? You know, I get it. There's obviously money involved and a lot of money involved, but whatever. These organizations, they can do it, you know? So anyway, I hear that I'm on the, was I on the clock? Did I just miss my pick? Oh, I picked Anthony Volpe. Oh man, my potato brain is killing me during this draft right now. I didn't even realize. I thought I heard a beep. I'm about to be back up. Here we go. All right, here we go. Who's my next guy going to be? All right, so my lineup is pretty much done. I need pitchers. So who am I going for pitching? We got Lance Lynn at the top here. Jesus Luzardo. I know Bassett's going to give you innings. How about relief pitchers? Hey, David Robertson. I mean, these guys are, I can wait. Oh, Garrett Whitlock's here. Ooh, I like me a little Garrett Whitlock. Maybe that'll be a later round snag. I'll go for a starter. Who can I pick up? Kyle Wright. Nope, he's on the IL. You know, Reed Detmers. I wonder if Reed Detmers is a guy that has a bust-out year. I feel like he's almost there. Got Kadai Senga. Barrios is a bounce-back candidate. I mean, Lance Lynn is always steady as they come. I'll go Lance Lynn. Oh, wait. What's going on? Wait, why am I not on auto pick? Wait, what's going on? I thought I had the pick. Wait a minute. What just happened? Wait a minute. I didn't want Jake McCarthy. Why is Jake McCarthy here? What just happened? Was I on auto pick? I was on auto pick. Oh, good grief. This is probably my worst draft I've ever done. What the heck is going on? Good grief, man. All right, we got to get done with this draft. Here's a future lesson for these streams. Don't draft and stream at the same time. Good grief. You know what? I still like my team. It's all going to come together. Why? Because I break necks and cash checks when it comes to fantasy baseball. Here we go. Where was I? Okay, yeah, so good deal for the minor leaguers. That's awesome news. But let's get back to the Padres. I was talking about them. If there is a year for the Padres to win the division, it is this year. Obviously, you're going to get Musgrove back. The starting pitching is deep. Ryan Weathers, he's going to be the sixth guy. So they're going to be going with a six-man rotation at the beginning. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good idea. You know, once you get Musgrove back, that's going to help. And you probably get back to a five-man rotation at some point. But obviously, you know, one thing, I actually mentioned this in, I think in the power rankings video or the predictions video, I can't remember which one. I completely forgot to mention Fernando Tatis Jr. I was just drooling over this lineup. I was picturing Fernando Tatis Jr. in this lineup, but I never mentioned him because I'm like a visual person. If I gotta like see it, right? Obviously, you can see it right here at Fantasy Baseball. If I'm not looking at it, I'm not paying attention to it. But Fernando Tatis Jr., he's going to be back eventually. And, you know, I think he's going to get back to just being the same player that he was. I don't think there's going to be anything to be concerned about with him. He has missed a lot of time. He had to get some surgery. But I think he's going to get back to being a good player. I don't have any worries about him at all. But when he is in this lineup, man, oof. This lineup is going to be nasty. Love Bogarts at the top. Soto, I think, explodes this year. I think he's finally going to get himself an MVP. Oh, I hear the beep. There we go. Okay, now we're here. Okay, I'm going Lance Lynn. There we go. I'm finally back on track with fantasy baseball. Finally back on track. What do we got? Caden Lichford. Pick Tyler Glasnow. He might be good. You know, I'm not sure about Glasnow. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I just don't know what he's going to be. I need to kind of see. He came back and he looked all right in the, what was it, like 2 starts that he made at the end of the year. Did he pitch in the playoffs? I can't remember. But he looked all right, when he came back. I just wonder about the durability. He had Tommy John. Now he has the strained oblique. It's like, I don't know. Just injuries seem to just be a thing with him. He's going to have to break that. He's going to have to get that monkey off his back at some point. So, yeah, Tyler, he pitched in the playoffs, if I remember correctly. What was it, 5 innings? I feel like I can't fully remember that far back, but he did look pretty good at the end of the year. I remember he pitched a couple of times in the regular season, and then, and then he pitched in the playoffs. So, did he pitch in that one scoreless game that had the walk-off? It was like a 0-0 game or whatever the heck it was. I think it was Oscar Gonzalez at the walk-off. Did he pitch in that game? I can't fully remember. Hunter Brown's here. Hunter Brown day-to-day. Why is Hunter Brown day-to-day? What's going on with him? Yesterday. Back on track. Okay, so he's looking okay. So, Kadai Senga's, man. I'm excited about Kadai Senga. I'm excited about the Mets. Very excited about the Mets. I think, the Mets, I mean, to me, they look good. I like the way they look. Hold on, one more pick here. We got one more pick. We got 2 more picks overall. So let's get this done. I got one more picture that I need. I'll go Reed Detmers. I'll go Detmers. I think that's fine. But where was I? I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, the Mets. So yeah, we got the Padres, obviously really good-looking team in the National League. The Mets, it's tough because they're my World Series pick. I think this is the year they do it. I think I know Verlander and Scherzer, they're older, the top of the rotation. But you know what? I think if they can make it through and they can pitch in the, I know Verlander, people still look at Verlander like he's not, good in the postseason. Whatever. He pitched well in the World Series last year. That's all I'm looking at. All right. Or I think the first game he pitched in the World Series, if I remember correctly, I can't fully remember. I don't think he did well in that first start, but I think the next start, I think he went, 5 innings, gave up a run. So I think Verlander, whatever, the Mets, I like their lineup. I think they do need another bat, but I do think they're going to be aggressive. They're going to make a move. They need a guy for the bullpen, obviously, with Edwin Diaz, but they'll make a move eventually. I'm glad they didn't go out and try to rush a move because they have really not a lot of leverage at this point. I think once guys get going and prospects get going, they can have more leverage at that point. But I'm glad they're kind of just taking a bit of a patient approach. They will add a guy for the bullpen at some point, but I still think the bullpen can be fine. But I like the starting pitching, obviously, with Verlander, Scherzer. Quintana will be back eventually, but I think the depth is way better than it was last year. You don't have that concern anymore with Jacob deGrom. I mean, sure, you'd love to have Jacob deGrom still on this team, but when I'm looking at it 1 through 5, I mean, sure, no Quintana, but David Peterson's a guy. He was a lot better than, you might have thought last year. So I like him for this year. Look out for him. I think he could be a solid lefty for them. Senga is still a wild card, but the stuff is really good. I just like the Mets pitching. And I think they're going to add a guy for the bullpen. You're going to add a guy for the lineup. You got good defense on this team as well. I would have loved to have seen Brett Beatty starting at third base, and then you have Eduardo Escobar at DH. All right, and then you can have Vogelbach as a lefty bat on the bench if you wanted to go that route. But you know what? I'll tell you, could this be a bit of a hot take? Could Omar Narvaez end up being the most valuable addition that the Mets make in the offseason? I think Narvaez was a really good player to add for them. He's not going to be flashy, put up numbers, but good defense, and he's going to be good with the pitching staff. I'm telling you, I really think Omar Narvaez was one of the most underrated moves in this offseason. I really like that move. I feel like people don't talk about that enough. Here we go. I need one more guy. So for the bench, I don't know. I'm thinking, a late pick. I got to make it a fun one. I'm thinking here. Did Brian Bayo get picked? Ooh, still there. Brian Bayo's still there. Is Whitlock still there? Garrett Whitlock's still here. I don't know. Do I want to go Bayo? I'll go Brian Bayo. That's fun. Well, I don't know. I still feel like he can go through some growing pains. Whitlock, I don't know. I'll go Whitlock or Bayo. I don't know. Whoever type a name in the chat. Bayo or Whitlock. You got 7 seconds. 6, 5, or whatever. I don't think I'm able to do it. I'm going Bayo. Never mind. There we go. There's my team. Here we go. Looking over my team, everyone. Here it is. We got Kirk at catcher, Nate Lowe at first base. We got Jose Altuve. He will be on the IL to start the year. Rafael Devers, Francisco Lindor, Ronald Acuna Jr., Yordan Alvarez, Corbin Carroll, Willie Adames, Kevin Gausman. For the pitching, Valdez, Yu Darvish, Jansen, Snell, Lynn, Detmers. On the bench right now, I got Volpe, McCarthy, and Bayo. I like it. I think it's a good-looking team. I'm happy with this team. Sure, there were a couple of potato picks in here, but you know what? I think it's fine. I think it's a good team. But all right, I'm going to hang out for a little bit longer. The draft is done, but any questions, please put them in the chat. But yeah, I'm excited about this Mets team. I think they're going to be really good. I think they got more depth than last year. And they also, the minor leagues is looking better for the Mets right now. Baseball America, they bumped up the Mets just a little bit on their farm system rankings. So the Mets, they're starting to come together now as just a good all-around organization. You got guys in the minors. So I like it. I think the Mets are going to have themselves a good year. Sean, $5 super chat. Do you think the Diamondbacks could make the playoffs this year? I have the Diamondbacks making the playoffs. If you go to my predictions, spoiler alert, I have the Diamondbacks winning the third wild card. I like the Diamondbacks. I think they got a fun all-around team. I talked about them early on in the stream. I like the lineup. It's got a good mix of youth and veterans. The pitching, I'm not too high on the pitching. I love Gallen. I love Kelly there. They're going to need another guy to step up. So that's where I'm looking at guys like Dre Jameson and Ryan Nelson. I wonder what Bumgarner is going to give you. When we look at the numbers with Bumgarner, when I think of Madison Bumgarner, I think of that incident that happened in Miami with the umpire when he was like touching his hand or whatever for the sticky stuff, and the umpire's just looking at him in the eyes. That still makes me laugh to this day. Go to that video, and there's a fan that's like staring like right behind them in like the first row. It is hilarious. Like it's like he knew something bad was about to happen. But yeah, Bumgarner, at this point, he's just here to give you innings. But God, he has just been miserable with this Diamondbacks team. It's like he took the contract, and it's like, what's going on with this guy? I don't get it. He's just not good. FIP looks horrible. XFIP is horrible. I don't know, man. I'm worried. I wonder, there were some murmurs out there in the offseason that Bumgarner, they were maybe even looking to move him, right? Or try and get rid of him. He's going to have to be better for this team. Which is like crazy. You shouldn't be having to say that. It's Madison Bumgarner. I don't know. But they will need, I think, these young guys, Nelson and Jameson, to step up. Bullpen, I don't think they haven't had a good-looking bullpen in the last couple of years. But, you got some options here at the back. You got McGough, Chafin, Ginkel, Castro here, Sulcer. It's not a bad-looking bullpen. I like the Diamondbacks, though. I love obviously the farm system looks great. I'm excited about these young guys. Look out for Brandon Pfaadt, too. This is a guy I think you should keep your eyes on for this year. Look at him, 24 years old in AAA. They are projecting him to come up. This could be one of these young guys that could end up coming up and helping. If you look at the numbers that he had in AAA last year, 10 starts in AAA, a 2.63 ERA. The FIP was a 4.18, but 10 strikeouts per 9, 2 walks per 9. So look out for Fad. I think he could be a guy that helps them out. Still got I like Drake Jameson. I think he could end up doing really well for them. And then Nelson as well. You got Longoria. I like that addition. So I like this Diamondbacks team. I'm going for you always got to make like a bold pick. If you're going to do predictions, you got to go bold, right? I don't know. I think the Diamondbacks, but then again, it's like funny because I feel like I was the only one like a few months ago saying, look out for the Diamondbacks next year. And then all of a sudden I'm picking the Diamondbacks and everyone's like, oh, it's not that much of a sleeper pick. Or I'm like, okay, well, everyone else was calling it like a sleeper pick a few months ago, and now everyone's not. I don't know. But I like the D-backs for this coming year, man. I'm excited to see what they can do. And I've actually read this too. Torey Lovello, he's on a 1-year deal, basically. And a lot of people, like, I read I don't remember if it was like on a Reddit thing or in like a comment section. I can't remember. But basically people were saying like, oh, there's no way he likes that, or he's like, a big fan of that. To me, because I watched an interview where he did talk about that. And he's just like, it doesn't really bother him all that much that he's on a 1-year deal. Because a lot of these managers, they don't like to be in limbo like that. But I think honestly that could end up being like a chip on his shoulder where he's got to go out. They got to go out there and win. Right? If he wins, he's going to get a contract. So I think it'll end up being a good year for the Diamondbacks. So what do we got? James Hirota. In stats that don't matter, Angels are back-to-back Cactus League champs. I think the Angels, man, I think they could win a wild card. Every year they could. But this year with the Angels, I think it's more realistic this year than it is last year. Because when you look at that team from last year, the lineup was good, but it wasn't as deep as this lineup. You got way more extension in this lineup now. So I think this offense could be a top 10 offense. It's funny with, I see people are pretty split on Phil Nevin. I've gone on the Angels Reddit and I've seen what those guys have to say about Phil Nevin. I've seen people say there's no way they're going to win with Phil Nevin because the guy gets way too emotional and he starts just flipping out and whatever else. I don't know. I think he's fine. I think seems like the players just weren't on board with Joe Madden. Like, I don't know. I think Joe Madden, his out of the box ways just didn't work there. I think they just needed a guy that's just going to be a little more steady, I would say. But then Phil Nevin, he had these couple of outbursts in the dugout a couple of times. So, but I think the players, Mike Trout said, he likes playing for him. So, I mean, what else is Mike Trout going to say when someone asks him that? But, it seems like the players are fine with him for the most part. But I think this team looks pretty good. And they always look pretty good, but I think they look better than what they've looked like in the last couple of years. Rotation, I think, is good. They were good with the starting pitching last year. Bullpen, you got options in this bullpen. It's not amazing by any means, but you got names like Tepera. You just brought in Moore, Aaron Loop. You got Quijada was pitching in the World Baseball Classic. He was looking pretty good there. I just wonder who the closer will end up being. I think the Angels, they are definitely a candidate to win a wild card. They should be a candidate to win the wild card. What do we got? Caden Lichford, do you think Max Scherzer will get the MVP for Cy Young this year? Do you think Max Scherzer will be the Cy Young? Probably not. Scherzer always, he has the ability. If he can pitch a full season, then yeah. But Scherzer always seems to have something nagging come up, whether if it's like his back or he's strained an oblique, I believe that's what it was last year. I think he's just going to have like these little nagging things here and there that I don't think he's going to pitch enough to get the Cy Young for this year. What do we got? What do we got? Michael Story, how you doing, my friend? Thoughts on Kansas City? Kansas City, I honestly think this Central Division is going to be a bit open. But could Kansas City... could they be something similar to what the Orioles were last year? what the Tigers were a couple of years ago? Could they have those same kind of vibes? You got some guys in this lineup that are fun. Obviously, Bobby Witt Jr. at the top. Vinny Pasquantino. You know, I like Melendez. I like Massey. You know, I think they have some decent bats here. Obviously, Salvador Perez is going to give you some home runs. Hey, look at that. Jackie Bradley Jr., Red Sox legend, making the team. I just don't like this pitching. I mean, Zach Greinke's always fun to watch. Like, he's always a joy to watch on the mound. He's always up to something. But I like Brady Singer. You know, Brady Singer, I think, has not fully put it together yet. He's fun. You know, I don't like a lot of this rotation, you know? I don't know. I mean, you brought in Jordan Lyles. How did he do last year? I think he was with the Orioles last year, right? Come on, Fangraphs, you're killing me. He was fine last year. He had a 4.40 FIP. He's going to give you innings. That's what he's there for, basically. I'm just not a big fan of this starting pitching. And if we're looking here, and you got a couple of guys that maybe could come up and help. You know, look out for Lofton this year. Maikel Garcia, 66 overall prospect on Fangraphs, so look out for him. Let's actually take a look here. Let's click out of some of these tabs. I got so many tabs open. Maikel Garcia. So he's going to be in AAA to start things off. He came up for a cup of coffee last year, 9 games. Hit 23 plate appearances. He hit 318. So, but in AAA last year, he had a 341 on base, a 463 slugging. And then AA hit 291 with a 369 on base. He's got speed too. 27 stolen bases in AA, and then he had 12 in AAA. But if you're looking at the overall scouting report, more of a hit guy from what it seems. He's got some speed. He's good in the field. So, you know, this is a guy to keep an eye out for this year. Bullpen, I mean, the big name that really jumps off here is Aroldis Chapman. Chapman, this is a candidate. Who is a guy I can compare Chapman to? A reliever that kind of got himself back on track. Ooh, you know what's a good one? Eric Gagne. Remember Gagne? He went to the Rangers back in 2007, and then he was really struggling at that time, but he turned his career around with the Texas Rangers, and then the Red Sox traded for him, and then he just completely melted down with the Red Sox. So, man, I remember when they traded for him because he was looking really good with the Texas Rangers, but at that point, you had Papelbon, you had Gagne, you had Okajima, right? That looked awesome when they got him, right? But then he ended up just completely falling apart and fell off a cliff. But Aroldis Chapman has like that same kind of feel to him where he has not looked good over the last couple of years. But if Kansas City can get him right, this is a trade deadline guy, right? Where a team will always take a flyer on a lefty power arm, right? They just need to get him right. So for the Diamondbacks, you know, or not Diamondbacks, sorry, Royals, you know, young players, you know, look out for some of these other guys. Like Lynch should come back eventually. Drew Waters he'll be back. Probably not won't be gone for too long. Strained oblique, February 19th. He should be back, I would imagine, by the end of April or sometime in April. Right? What's the news on Drew Waters? I think Drew Waters, didn't he have a walk-off on the last game of the season last year? Can't remember. But, I mean, he looked okay with Kansas City last year. He had a 479 slugging. That's decent, you know? So, yeah, look out for him. I'm not seeing any news on him, though. But, yeah, Kansas City, I think really at this point, I mean, I don't know. I mean, could they really surprise some people this year? Maybe. I don't know. Could they just be one of these out-of-nowhere teams? Maybe, but I think more likely you're looking at either 4th or 5th place. So, who knows? Maybe they could be fun. Maybe they can come out of nowhere. What do we got? Sean, ended up with Spencer Turnbull on my fantasy team. What should I expect from him? You know, Turnbull is interesting. We haven't seen him in a little bit. How did he look in spring training? Because he ended up getting Tommy John. What do we got here? Carlos Sanchez. Quijada. Did I pronounce it wrong? Is it Quijada or Quijada? Am I saying it wrong? Is it Quijada? I don't know. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm botching it. You know I'm not good with the pronunciations. But let's see. Did he... Okay, so he pitched in spring training. 4 starts. I mean, he's fine. I think Turnbull's going to be fine. You know? I think that's going to be a guy who's going to give you ERA in the 3s, low 4s. You know, I think he's that kind of a guy. If you go back to some of his good years, 2020 he made 11 starts, ERA just below a 4. He actually looked good in 2021. Let me actually pull him up here. What am I doing here? Spencer, Turnbull, Fangraphs. Still 117 people strong, man. You guys are excited for opening day. Gotta love it. But yeah, Turnbull, when I'm looking at his FIPS have always been better than his ERAs. 2019, a 4.61 ERA, 3.99 FIP. 2020 in the short season, 3.97 ERA, 3.49 FIP. And then his FIP and ERA were right around the same in 21. So yeah, to me, I'm looking at a guy, you know, mid-3s ERA. I think that seems fair for him. And usually these guys, when they come back from Tommy John, they end up being pretty good. So, what else we got here? Caden Lickford, do you watch every Red Sox game? I try to, if I'm home, obviously. Like, usually I'm home during the night. They're on the weeknights by 7 o'clock. So if they're playing then yes, the game will be on. If on the weekends, yeah, of course. For the most part, I have every game on. But there are times I'm not going to see every game. I feel like the night, if I don't watch a game, it ends up being Friday. Because I always try to do something like with friends on Friday. So that's always more of my social night to kind of go do things. And then maybe Saturday as well. If they have like a Saturday night game, there's a chance I might not see that. But usually I have the game on every single day for the most part. And if I'm not watching the game, I always have my phone on me and I'm always looking at the box score. So, but yeah. What else we got? Let's see. What do we got? Looking here. Michael Story. Looked up that home run by Waters. It was at Cleveland in the 10th inning, 3-run dinger. I'm with you on the rotation. Much love. Hey, much love to you, my friend. I think Kansas City could be fun. JD Sports, how you doing, my friend? Does Ohtani win MVP and Cy Young? Ooh, you know, I feel like I saw where did I see this? Ooh, Anthony Volpe had a diving catch. Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. Oh, look at Volpe. This is exactly the kind of guy the Yankees needed. Thank God they actually frickin' did it. Where did I see? I saw something about, was it like a bold prediction that Ohtani would win the MVP and the Cy Young? So MLB.com. So this was by Thomas Harrigan. According to a panel of 87 MLB.com voters, they have Ohtani winning the MVP. Soto with those are the 2 picks that I have. I feel really good about those guys. Yeah, they have Ohtani winning the Cy Young and the MVP. Here's the thing. Oh man, I don't know. I just feel like that's not going to happen. He was really good on the mound last year. I don't know. That'd be crazy if he won the MVP and the Cy Young. I think he'll win the MVP. That's me personally. If I'm going with a Cy Young guy, I do like Kevin Gausman. I'm excited. Well, as a Red Sox fan, not excited about it, but I think he's going to be good. I think Shane McClanahan is a guy to look out for. Honestly, Jacob deGrom. You know, I know that is kind of an easy pick, but if he makes all of his starts, why couldn't deGrom win the Cy Young? The guy's out of his freaking mind. So, Who else they got? They got Corbin Burns in the National League. I actually picked Aaron Nola, personally. I think Nola, what I like about him, it's kind of a more safe pick, I would say, because you know he's going to give you the innings. I just think if he can get it together, you know, he gets a little bit better defense out there. His FIP was way better than his ERA. So if he gets the defense behind him, that ERA is going to look better. He gets strikeouts. He gets walks. Now, I wonder if Nola will always be that kind of a guy that's never going to be quite good enough to win the Cy Young, but he'll just be really good. Kind of like the Hall of Fame, Hall of Great. You know, I wonder if he's just great, you know, or is he going to be like an actual Cy Young guy? So, James Sirota, Angels expert in the chat. Ohtani will be pitching more innings this year. He'll be going off mostly 5 days rest instead of 6. So, yeah, I would think with Ohtani, they're going to try and get a little bit more out of him on the mound. So, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I don't see why not. When you have a guy like Ohtani, you know, we haven't seen a guy like him in years, obviously, since Babe Ruth. I mean, anything's possible with Ohtani, man, as long as he's healthy. If he, that's what I'm just hoping for the most. I just want him to just keep being durable. Major League Baseball needs that guy to be on the field. So they got Rookie of the Year, Gunnar Henderson. I think that's a safe pick. I feel like it's not going to be. Here's the thing with the Rookies of the Year, right? It's always someone that you just don't think about, you know? Like he's like anytime a guy like a rookie gets like a lot of picks, it always just ends up not being them. So Corbin Carroll for the National League. I think for the National League, I went with James Outman. And then I almost went with Brett Beatty. If Brett Beatty made the opening day roster, I would have gone with him. Jordan Walker, I really do think he could win it. I think Jordan Walker, the guy is just so good with the bat. I honestly would give him more of a chance than Carroll. I think Carroll's electric. But I feel like Jordan Walker is, how do I even say this without it like sounding bad? Like I feel like Walker, his floor is higher right now than Carroll, if that makes any sense. Carroll, I think, has the better overall ceiling. I think Walker's floor is a little higher right now. That's just my own personal opinion. Look out for Ellie De La Cruz, too. That guy could be really good. That's a prospect that not a lot of people are looking at or not thinking about at the moment. But, dude, this dude is nuts, man. He hits for power. He's fast. He steals a ton of bases, man. I'm excited for Ellie De La Cruz. But, someone like a Miguel Vargas makes a ton of contact. You know, he's a guy that is going to get just such a big role with this Dodgers team. And if he plays well, he's someone that could definitely get votes. You know, I almost went with John Snyder for my Manager of the Year. But in the American League, I actually decided, is his name even here? Oh, okay. I went with Pedro Grifol. I have the White Sox making the playoffs. I have the White Sox actually winning the division. I think people are either going like a lot of Guardians picks this year. But I think a lot of people are like sleeping on the White Sox. That's a good team. They got a new manager there now. I think that is a big thing. A lot of people say that a manager is not that big of a deal. I think it is. When you're going from, what they had last year with Tony La Russa. Dude, Tony La Russa could have come back at the end of the year, and they basically just told him to stay home, right? They just said, hey, you know what? Don't worry about it, right? I think a lot of that had to do with his health, obviously. But if he said that he could have come back and he was good to go, and the White Sox are still telling him to just stay home, I think that said something. I think they were just like, you know what? We're just going to cut ties now. You know, let's forget it. I think the players just were not responding to him. Pedro Grifol seems like more of a guy that the players, I think, are going to respond to a little bit more. So he's my pick for Manager of the Year. But I think Schneider, I think that's a good one too. Schneider, he made a couple of interesting moves. I think a lot of people got on to him about pulling Kevin Gausman a little early in the playoffs, and I don't think he'll make that mistake again. So, being a manager for the first time, you're going to have your bumps. But the Blue Jays played better with him than Charlie Montoyo. So that's another reason why I think the Blue Jays are going to be good. It just seems like they got good stuff going on. Bob Melvin was my pick for Manager of the Year last year. Who ended up winning Manager of the Year last year in the National League? I'm going blank. Was it Thompson? Ah, someone help me out. Who was the National League Manager of the Year? No, I didn't want 94. What the heck? Was it Showalter? Oh, it was Showalter. Okay, it was Showalter. So, yeah. I think that's another one to pay attention to. Could Bob Melvin get it? Like I said, I thought he was going to get it last year. But yeah. Yeah, man. I'm excited. Let's see if MLB.com has anything else. 30 eye-popping stats to prep you for opening day. Let's look at that. What do we got? MLB.com. They're revved. Oh, did you see the opening day commercial? MLB.com. I can't show it on here because they'll probably ding me for copyright, but go watch that. I thought it was a pretty fun looking, fun little hype video. I thought it was fun. What do we got? Blue Jays. Power from the youth. The Blue Jays are one of 2 teams with multiple 3-homer games from individuals last season. So you had Vlad, Bo Bichette, and then okay, so those 2 guys. And then the Adley era. In his debut season, Adley Rutschman had a 133 WRC+. I mean, yeah, Adley's good, man. Don't forget about the Rays, Wander Franco. You know, Wander Franco. He missed a lot of time last year. 83 games. Dude, I'm excited to see what he can do. He's going to be a menace against my Red Sox. Ugh. Not excited to see at-bats against him. The Red Sox, Masataka Yoshida. Okay, of course, they're definitely going to put this stat. Because, I mean, he was nuts in the World Baseball Classic. Hit 409, had a 727 slug. Dude, Yoshida's going to be good. As soon as I read when all of these other executives in the league were, like, laughing at how the Red Sox, like, just overpaid Yoshida, I'm like, oof, that's all I need to see. This guy's going to end up being good. Those comments are going to come back and haunt him. So, Yankees, Anthony Volpe. Again, good for the Yankees, man. I'm glad they did that. You know, like I said, the Yankees will always be our hated rivals, our bitter rivals. But I respect the Yankees, right? So it's like, man, finally, you know, like actually making a move that is just not just boring Yankee move. You know what I mean? What do we got? Guardians. Oh, that was another piece of news. Andres Gimenez. Did they end up coming to an agreement on an extension, or was that still in the works? Like, did they actually make that official? I believe it was like a 7-year deal for around $100 million. Okay, so they have agreed to it, and there's an option for an 8th season. So, hey, good for the Guardians. You're going to start seeing more of this. The Braves have kind of set the tone for when it comes to locking up these guys, right? Pay these guys when they're young. Pay them for their best years, right? Instead of having to overpay them for the latter half of their careers, right? You're going to start seeing contracts go more like this now, I think. So, Guardians, I do think Gimenez comes back down to earth a little bit. The advanced numbers didn't look amazing with Gimenez last year, so I think the bat will regress just slightly. But I still think, you know, he's great in the field. He's still going to be a good player for you. What else we got? MLB.com. What else you got? What do we got? Bobby Baseball for the Royals. Let's see here. 20 homers, 30 stolen bases last season. He was the 5th player to notch a 2020 season in his debut. Julio Rodriguez did it as well. You had Marty Cordova, Ellis Burks. Hey, good old Ellis Burks. How you doing, my friend? Mitchell Page, right? And then you also had Carlos Beltran and Bo Jackson, who had multiple 2020 seasons in their career for the Royals. Okay. For the Tigers, Miguel Cabrera became the 33rd member of the 3,000 hit club last year. And let's see, he enters the year with 3,088 hits, 24th all time. Okay, so you got Cal Ripken Jr. at 15th all time with 3,184. So he's within 100 hits of that. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see where Miguel Cabrera falls with his total hits. That'll be fun. Byron Buxton with the Twins. Talking about his speed. I hope Byron Buxton has a full season of health. Dylan Cease with the slider. I love the White Sox pitching, right? The White Sox pitching, it's good, right? They got good pitching. People are sleeping on that White Sox team, right? He had batters swing at 695 of his slider offerings last year. So, it's pretty good. Dylan Cease was awesome last year. Man, I like that. Dylan Cease, Lance Lynn. Giolito, I think, is going to be better this year. Of course, the Angels are talking about Shohei Ohtani. He was tied for 11th among all batters in home runs with 34, 6th among pitchers with 219 strikeouts. First player to finish in the top 15 in Major League Baseball in both categories in a season since the mound was moved to its current distance in 1893. What is next? Could MVP and Cy Young be next? Astros World Series winning bullpen. That's why that Astros team is going to be really good. It's going to be really good. I'm liking the Astros this year. They're my pick for the American League. I think a lot of people's pick for the American League. I do think the Astros, if we're looking at the Astros, could this be the first team to repeat? I think they could. Why not? The American League is open. They can get back to the World Series. That, I think, if I'm really thinking, I think for me, their toughest competition in the American League, in my personal opinion, as of right now, it's the Blue Jays. I think to me, it's like the Yankees, they just looked awful against them last year. I know it's a new season, but man, will Rodon make that much of a difference for the Yankees when it comes to the Astros? So you added Rodon. The Astros don't have Verlander. So let's say that's one less win for the Astros that goes to the Yankees. Let's say Rodon gives you one more win. So it's like the Astros, you're still looking like they could beat the Yankees in 6 games. I don't know. I think the lineup is still really good. The rotation is strong 1 through 5. The bullpen is nasty. I mean, if they are healthy and they are just getting through the regular season fine and they're durable, I don't see any reason why they can't make it back to the World Series. They're just that good, right? Now, I think if they made it to the World Series, if they went up against the Padres, the Mets, the Braves, I think that is going to be tougher competition. I think the Astros have such an easier path to the World Series than these teams in the National League. Right? That's going to be, no matter what, the National League is so unpredictable. It could go in so many different ways. Like we had the Phillies, who their last wild card spot, make it to the World Series last year. I think this National League it's the hardest to predict in, I can't remember how long. Like there's so many good teams in the National League. So like people that are saying like, oh man, you don't know what you're talking about, picking the Mets to make the World Series. It's like, okay, you don't even know who's going to make it either because all these teams are really good, right? The Mets, the Braves, the Padres. I mean, the Dodgers, sure, whatever. They'll probably end up losing in the playoffs anyway, but the Dodgers are still good, St. Louis, what a lineup that is. You don't know who's going to come out of that National League because there's so many good teams, right? There's more good teams in the National League than there are in the American League. So, either way, it's going to be fun to watch. The A's, their highlight guy is Tony Kemp. Had a 76.3 contact rate. Hey, Tony Kemp was pretty fun last year. Julio Rodriguez, they're talking about him. What do we got? John Heyman is tweeting something. What do we got? Major hurdles with Brian Reynolds and the Pirates. Jason Mackey. Let's pull up Jason Mackey. Well, what am I putting stats for? So Jason Mackey had a tweet today, or 38 minutes ago, about Brian Reynolds. Plenty of conversation today on the Brian Reynolds front. Deadline viewed as first pitch tomorrow. Both sides have moved as you'd expect. Seems like genuine interest in getting something done. Has been discussed, or has been discussion on a structure of a deal. Should be fascinating next 18 hours. I've been saying this about Brian Reynolds. I don't see why the Pirates would want to trade him, because their window is about to open. I would hang on to Brian Reynolds. Like, that's your cornerstone guy, right? I'm hanging on to him. I think Reynolds, he was asking for a trade. A lot of these guys, like, when they request trades, sure, a lot of them end up getting traded, but a lot of it is like a leverage play too, right? So I think, to me, it has just made all the sense in the world for the Pirates to just get something done with Brian Reynolds. I wouldn't trade him. You're so close to being a competitive team, So keep your eyes out for Brian Reynolds. Would not be surprised to see something announced tonight or maybe even tomorrow morning. So the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez became the first player in MLB history with at least 25 home runs, 25 stolen bases in his first season. Two other rookies had done it. Mike Trout in 2012 and Chris Young in 2007, but both had debuted the year prior. Okay, yeah, so yeah, Julio Rodriguez, he actually debuted this last year. Looking ahead, only one Mariners player has had multiple 25-25 seasons. Good old Mike Cameron. I would love to do a video on Mike Cameron. I think that would be a really fun video. Mike Cameron, I feel like, was just such an underappreciated player. The dude was good. Man, I'll tell you, I've thought of some players that I would love to do videos on. I would love to do one on Mike Cameron. I thought of Josh Beckett. I know that's a little Red Sox bias, but Josh Beckett was so fun when he was with the Marlins, winning in 2003. I think there's enough of a video to make with Josh Beckett. You got the Marlins. You got his time, how good he was with the Red Sox in 2007. You had the chicken and beer thing. I think you could do a video on Josh Beckett. There's so many players out there I would love to do a video on. So the Rangers, they're talking about Nate Lowe, how he was really good in the second half, had a .566 slugging percentage in the second half. He had a .566 slugging percentage. That was third. And he finished with a .339 batting average. I just drafted Nate Lowe onto my team. Look at me. Sean Murphy, talking about him with the Braves. I think that was a great pickup for the Braves. That's going to be awesome. Phillies, Trey Turner. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. How about that grand slam against Venezuela? Huh? That was in my intro. My updated intro. And, man, I'm excited for Trey Turner. I'm really excited to see what he can do with the Phillies. And when you got Harper back, too, it's going to be great. Sandy Alcantara, of course, for the Marlins. Hey, the Marlins, look out for that pitching. I think the Marlins could be a sneaky team this year. I think they have a few more bats that can really help that offense be so much better than what it's been in the last couple of years. But will it be enough? I don't know about that. Honestly, I know I just talked about Verlander and Scherzer earlier, but I think that's really fun seeing Scherzer and Verlander together. I wonder, because, there's a lot of stories with them, how they just did not like each other when they were with the Tigers because they were just so competitive with each other. I feel like now is different because they're both at the end of their careers. They want to win a World Series. I don't see, because to me, those guys were just younger at the time. They're trying to really, I feel like they're trying to prove more at that time. At this point, they have proven everything. What else is there to prove? They just want to try and win another World Series. I'm excited to see those two together. Joey Meneses, man, I really hope this guy keeps doing well. He was fun with the Nationals last year. Corbin Burns, hey, arbitration troubles last year. or this past offseason, with the Brewers. And, is that going to put a chip on his shoulder just a little bit? But his stuff was still looking really good last year. A lot of good advanced numbers for him. With the Cardinals, talking about Jordan Walker. I'm excited, man. Like I said, I think Jordan Walker, his floor is so high. And I think he is a legit Rookie of the Year. Like, a very, very strong candidate. I know a lot of people think that too, but I think there's a real shot that he wins it. And hey, for the Cubs, I haven't talked about the Cubs really. Cubs, I feel like, are a team that no one's really talking about, but they have a lot of talent on that team. And then Seiya Suzuki. Yeah, this is a guy where he was looking really good last year, and then he got hurt, and then he just had an up and down season, right? I'm excited. Look out for him this year. This was the big guy from Japan last year. Now it's Yoshida with the Red Sox, and hey, Roki Sasaki. That's the next big one to keep an eye out for. Few years, wait for him. O'Neal Cruz, the guy mashes. I need O'Neal Cruz to start putting together a better all-around game at the plate. If we're looking at O'Neal Cruz, let me pull up his numbers. Obviously, the guy can mash. He's an alien. He's 6'7", 220 pounds, but he strikes out a ton. 35% strikeout rate, 294 on base. Man, the guy can mash, and he's got speed too. Hopefully, he has a better all-around season. I am really excited about Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo in the Reds rotation. Very excited about that. Those two, Lodolo was really fun. Hunter Green is always fun to watch because he's just got all the velocity. But, honestly, I'd like to see what Graham Ashcraft could do. And we got a couple other guys, like I mentioned, Ellie De La Cruz. Look out for this Reds minor league system this year. Keep an eye on those numbers. It looks like the last division they're talking about is the NL West. What do we got? So, Dodgers leading the way. Last year, for the 5th straight season, the Dodgers led the National League in runs scored and runs allowed. So, they had the best run differential. That streak surpassed the 1936 through 39 Yankees for the most consecutive seasons by a team leading its league in both categories. Can they do it again? I don't know. I don't know if they can do that again. That'll be interesting. D-backs, blink and you'll miss him. Corbin Carroll. Speed is on another level. Corbin Carroll is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. On the Giants, I wonder what the Giants could do. I like their starting pitching, but they're talking here Tyler Rogers, Taylor Rogers, both on the same team. That is pretty fun. I think the Giants will be a better team this year. I just wonder if they're going to have enough. Padres, they're talking about Juan Soto's walk rate. That's another thing with Soto. Like, the guy is just incredibly patient, and he didn't seem like he wasn't fully there last year. But also taking away the shift, that's only going to help him. He's gonna be good, man. MVP for me. I know that's kind of a boring pick because everyone's picking Juan Soto. If I were to look at other guys in the National League, let me look at some other guys here. Let's go to some projections. If you weren't picking Juan Soto, who could you pick? Turner, sure. Because Turner is going to give you a bit of everything. Lindor. Arenado. I wonder if what I love about Arenado, he's going to consistently hit for average, get on base, hit for power. He's going to be great in the field. I think Arenado is a legit MVP candidate. If I'm looking at maybe some other guys, Ronald Acuna Jr., could he, bounce back? Or last year didn't quite bounce back the way you thought he would after the knee surgery. But then again, it's also, he got surgery on his knee. It's going to, now that he's got a full season under his belt after getting the surgery, can he get back to what he was doing, in 2021? Ronald Acuna Jr. was on pace to win the MVP by a mile in 2021 until he got hurt. Can he pick it up? We're going to pick up where he left off? Sure. I think it's possible. Freddie Freeman is always Freddie Freeman. I feel like Freeman now is probably not going to be winning any more MVPs. I don't know. I think the competition is just too tough. You got some other guy. Austin Riley is projected for some good numbers. Austin Riley, I think, is a really underrated guy. I don't think you hear about him. He's not really in that same tier when people think about top players like Soto and like Arenado and Mookie Betts. You know, he should be. You know, Austin Riley's really good. You know, I think he needs to have a couple more seasons like that for people to really buy into him being just one of the best hitters in the game. I mean, he is one of the best hitters, but I think for people to give him that kind of respect, I think he's going to need to do a little bit more. Could Fernando Tatis Jr. come back and just set the world on fire? I don't know if he's going to have enough games. I think that's going to be a bit of a problem. But could he end up winning the MVP maybe next year? If he's healthy and fine, maybe. So either way, you know, if I were to go with a top three, I'll probably go Soto. I'd probably go Arenado. Maybe Ronald Acuna Jr. in the top three. Maybe Turner at 4. I'd probably go with one of those guys, honestly. CJ Cron. One thing with CJ Cron, let me actually pull him up here on StatCast. We are still over 100 strong here. You guys are awesome. You guys are ready for opening day. But taking a look, CJ Cron, his average exit velocity, he does get help in cores because his average exit velocity has not been good over the last couple of years. But 2021, his ex-WOBA looked pretty good. Barrels looked pretty good. Expected batting average and slugging looked pretty good. But all those numbers dropped. So I'm a little worried about Cron. I'm wondering if he's starting to trend in the wrong direction. So look out for him, but the guy can still hit bombs. But yeah, it's pretty much all of that for that article. Is there anything else I could look at really quick? I got to get out of here pretty soon. Oh, we got some news on Hendricks. Making progress, but no timeline for return. He's making very good progress in his battle with non-Hodgkin lymphoma, although he remains in treatment. Rick Hahn said the White Sox will not place him on the 60-day IL, and that is on purpose, he says. Hopefully at some point in April, toward the end of April, I'll be able to get a little bit more specific for a potential timeline. I know that he's making progress. Liam is very appreciative of the well wishes and respecting his privacy as he continues to fight his way back to the big leagues. Hey, that's a good sign. You know, hey, anytime you hear good news, obviously that's good news. So, but especially when you're looking at something like that, you know, that good news, it really does just mean so much, right? What else we got? You know, honestly, I feel like I've kind of touched on a little bit of everything, you know, tonight. You know, I feel like I've talked as much as I can here. We're looking at 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. Let's actually take a look at the schedule tomorrow. Let's do that. So we have some day games. Taking a look here. The first games on tomorrow, we got the Braves at the Nationals. Honestly, I like this. Logan Webb and Garrett Cole. That's a fun opening day matchup. I like that. Cy Young, Corey Kluber going up against Gibson. I think the Red Sox are going to win this one tomorrow. I'm excited about the Red Sox tomorrow. 2:10 Eastern Standard Time. I can't wait. We'll probably have the game on in some way. I will be teaching at that time. I will hide the game somewhere. It'll be on. Maybe I'll have like a little headphone in my ear and I'll have the broadcast playing or something. Shh, don't tell anyone. Here we go. Brewers and the Cubs going tomorrow. Burns and Stroman. That's pretty fun. Tigers and the Rays. McClanahan against Eduardo Rodriguez. What I always love about opening day is you always got the best pitching matchups, right? It's only the first day of the season. It's a long season. But I always love just seeing the names, right? It's always fun. What do we got? DeGrom. Hey, I'm excited to see what DeGrom does, man. You know, I'm excited for him this year with the Rangers. I didn't talk about the Rangers all that much this year or in this stream. For this year, I think the Rangers, they got wild card potential. When I ran the out of the park simulations, the Rangers were picking up wild cards. They got pitching. If they can keep that pitching together and they're healthy and they're making their starts, they have enough offense, I think, personally. The bullpen is a little shaky. They need something for the bullpen. But if they're in contention, if they're right there at the trade deadline, they're a game or two out of a wild card spot, go for an arm for the bullpen. Look out for the Rangers. I think they're being slept on just a little bit. Good young matchup. Mitch Keller, Hunter Green, Reds and the Pirates. Blake Snell against German Marquez with the Rockies and the Padres. Oh, look at that. Hey, my World Series prediction from last year. The Blue Jays and the Cardinals. That was a bust of a World Series pick, huh? But Alek Manoah, Miles Mikolas, that's a fun matchup. I like that. Pablo Lopez, first start with the Twins, getting the opening day nod, going up against Greinke. Oh, what a matchup with the Mets and the Marlins. Max Scherzer, Sandy Alcantara. Gotta love that. I'm excited about that matchup. White Sox and Houston at 7 o'clock. So we have a good amount of games going on during the day. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games in the afternoon. That's fun. And then at 7 o'clock on ESPN, ESPN, absolute garbage. But White Sox and Houston, hey, I think that's still a pretty fun matchup. And like I said, I think the White Sox are going to be good this year. Dylan Cease, Framber Valdez, good matchup. What do we got? I think I already said the Padres and the Rockies, Snell and Marquez. Ohtani getting the nod tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So got some late ones tomorrow. Hey, Kyle Muller for the Oakland A's. That was hilarious. When the Oakland A's announced him as the opening day starter, people were commenting on that post on Twitter like, who the heck is this guy? And I'm like, do you guys even know that this is who they got back in the Sean Murphy trade? It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Kyle Muller, man, I think he's going to be pretty decent. Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Gallen and Urias. That's a fun one. Got the Mariners and the Guardians. Luis Castillo and Shane Bieber. That'd be a fun playoff matchup. If you got those two teams in the playoffs, I think that's really fun. Hey, we got a super chat coming in. Jack M, how you doing? The Rangers spent $500 million on the infield, $300 million on pitching, and forgot that the outfield and bullpen exist. Go Mariners, and looking forward to a 6th season. Jack, yeah, you make a great point. They need to do something with this bullpen. They need to do something with it. And the outfield, I'm surprised they didn't add someone. I thought Benintendi would have been a good guy for them to get, honestly. I'm surprised. I really thought Benintendi was a good player for them. But yeah, go Mariners, says Jack. The Mariners, can this be the year the Mariners really take a step? People were excited. They made it back to the playoffs last year. Could they make a run at this division? The Astros, are they still a 100-win team? I think so. I think they could still win 100 games. Can the Mariners, can they make up enough of the difference? That's what I'm wondering. I'm not saying the Mariners are going to be bad, but can they just make up the difference, right? It's going to be tough, but they should be able to win a wild card. Absolutely. Lineup still looks really good. I love the pitching. I really do. The only thing that holds me back is I always wonder just about, these guys, like if I'm looking at Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, I always worry, George Kirby looked really good last year after getting called up. Is that going to keep going? Like sophomore slumps, they always worry me a little bit. Guys can look great rookie seasons, but once these teams have a little bit more scouting, is that going to make it a little different? Logan Gilbert, he's already past that point. He looked really good. He didn't have any sophomore slumps last year. ERA was better. FIP was better. XFIP was better. Logan Gilbert, solid as they come. Just Kirby, like the stuff looked amazing last year. Oh, he was fun to watch. So fun. He actually had 5 no-hit innings last week against the Dodgers, and he walked 1 and struck out 9. I don't know. It doesn't look like a sophomore slump, but the Mariners, this rotation, could be electric. Luis Castillo. I love Luis Castillo. I think Luis Castillo is so fun. He's one of my favorite pitchers in the game. Robbie Ray, I think he's fine. I think Robbie Ray is going to be really solid. Marco Gonzalez at the back end, But I love this bullpen. Love Sewald and Munoz at the back. I hate that they don't have Swanson anymore. Swanson was really good for them last year, so they are going to have other guys step up. I think Matt Brash could be that guy that steps up for you. You still got Castillo back here. Still a good-looking bullpen. This Mariners team, they should be good. Can they make a run at the American League? Can they get to the World Series? Well, anyone can. Any team can. But can they get there? Can they actually close that gap? I think they have the starting pitching. If you go up against this starting pitching in the playoffs, it's not going to be fun. That's the one thing the Mariners have going for them. So can they have the magic this year? Just have to wait and see. Jack M again, Kirby for Cy Young. Also look out for Bryce Miller. Let's pull up Bryce Miller. Yeah, Kirby, honestly, the guy has just, he was so fun to watch. Bryce Miller, Fangraphs. Let's pull him up. What's the story with Bryce Miller? In AA right now, 24 years old. They're actually looking at 24 starts for him, or 24 games for him this year, with actually pretty decent numbers. Oof! Look at that fastball. 70 fastball. 55 slider in the future. Look at his numbers from AA last year. Oh, man. He had 10 starts, 50 innings last year in AA, a 3.20 ERA, 3.42 FIP, just under 11 strikeouts per 9, 3 walks per 9, under a home run per 9. Good numbers. Can he put it together this year? This is a guy that looks like he could end up being a call-up if he keeps it going. So, hey, I'm just saying, hey, Eric Swanson, going to miss him, but could this guy end up stepping into this bullpen at some point? It looks like the rotation, could he get some starts, maybe some spot starts? Sure. But could they end up maybe using him as a weapon in the bullpen? If he ends up turning out to be like what these numbers are looking like here, that's pretty nice if you ask me. But yeah, Jack M, thank you for the super chats. Really do appreciate you. Anthony Garcia, do we have an opening day stream tomorrow to recap the day? I'm thinking about doing an opening day stream tomorrow night, probably. Just because I have work tomorrow, so I can't do one during the day. But I'm thinking about going live tomorrow night as well, just to recap the day. It's only the first. It's opening day. It's amazing. It's awesome. I love opening day. It's like Christmas. But you have to remember, it is the first game of the season. I think a lot of people, they love to overhype opening day. I understand because it's fun. Everyone loves talking about it. Everyone just loves baseball back. But a lot of people, they kind of, I bet you, if you go on Twitter, I guarantee you, if the Red Sox lose tomorrow, everyone is going to be jumping off a cliff. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. I guarantee it. If Kluber gets, lit up by the Orioles tomorrow, I'll be like, oh, man, this is what we're going to have out of Corey Kluber this year. Man, oh, man, you might as well just sell the team now. Fire Chaim Bloom. Oh, my God. I guarantee you that's going to happen. If Corey Kluber goes 4-3 innings tomorrow, gives up 5 runs, guarantee you people are going to be tweeting Fire Chaim Bloom. It's going to happen. All right? Oh, please don't. Please don't. But people, they overreact to opening day. I don't think being excited for opening day is a bad thing. I more mean they overreact to the results of opening day. So, but either way, I'll probably go live. I'm not going to sit here and analyze games, and think that's what's going to happen or how the season is going to go for those teams. But no, it'll be fun to hop on here and kind of just take a look at what happened. Maybe, look at just some highlights and whatnot. I think that could be pretty fun. Oh, man, Athletics 510, you're going to be at opening day tomorrow. That's fun. Hey, good for you, man. I went to opening day in 2018 at Tropicana. That was fun. Nick Patrick, what's your ceiling for the Red Sox this year? Here's the thing. Here come the Giraffe Neck Robbie comments. I can see them now. Here is the thing about this Red Sox team. Can I just point something out? Can I just point something out here? Whatever. You guys are going to all call me Draft Nick Robbie. I don't care. Actually, no. Let's go 2013. I was looking at these predictions, right? From 2013. Let's go to CBS Sports. I'll pull up the Pinstripe Alley one. We had, for the CBS team... Ugh, pop-ups. Hold on. Look at these predictions from 2013. You had mostly out of the how many is it 6 people? So 6 people. 4 of them picked the Blue Jays. 1 picked the Orioles. 1 picked the Rays. Okay. 1 person picked the Red Sox to finish in second. 2 picked the Red Sox to finish in third. 2 of them picked them to finish fourth. And then 1 picked them to finish in fifth. So the Red Sox were not getting a lot of love, right? If I were to go to Pinstripe Alley, look at these dorks over at Pinstripe Alley. Let's see how their predictions went, huh? Look at these picks. Oh, man. Andrew, what a great prediction in 2013. Red Sox, last place. How about Tanya? Red Sox, last place. Good pick, Tanya. Jason, last place. Oh, man, these are going great. Look at Greg picking the Red Sox in last place. Look at Matt F. Red Sox, last place. Oh, man, we got Craig. He picked them to finish in fourth. How about Mason? Oh, we got a 4th place finish. My goodness. Pinstripe Alley, you guys were way off in 2013. I remember going into that year. I'm like, the one thing that I thought about with that team, I didn't know what to think about the team itself, like from a wins and loss point of view. But I liked the character guys that they brought in. I loved Napoli. I loved Victorino. I loved Johnny Gomes. I thought that team had they had a chance at having good chemistry that year. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And they ended up having a great year. And then they won the World Series. I'm not saying this team is like that team. But the Red Sox, they have like a similar vibe to that team. I don't know what it is. And they always seem to do well when no one is picking them. It just happens over the years all the time. But I love the character guys they have. Turner. You know, love that addition. I love Justin Turner. He's always been just a popular guy in the league. Players like playing with him. You know, you just have a good squad. Guys that just I think will get along, you know, and just have fun with each other, right? Kike Hernandez, always a fun player. Always having a good time there. He missed a lot of time last year. He was a big player for them in 2021. Yoshida looks like a goofy guy. You know, he looks like he's always having a good time out there. You know, Tristan Casas, this dude's going to be doing his yoga out in the outfield, and he's going to be taking naps. I don't know. I think people are going to be fine with him. Verdugo always seems to be a guy that, you know, he's always a loosey-goosey kind of a guy. I'm just saying, like, I think there's chemistry with this team. I wouldn't sleep on this team. I know that's sure I'm wearing my Red Sox jersey, but I did not pick the Red Sox to make the playoffs last year, coming off of an American League Championship Series. So don't call me biased. Maybe a little bit. But I think there's a chance for this team. They could shock people, man. I really think that. I'm not going to say they're going to win a division, but any team can win a division. Right? If you just come together, if you got talent and you come together and you're playing with each other and you're playing for each other and you're just you got good vibes going on. If you got talent, you can win, right? This team has talent. They're not bad, right? Will it be enough for a division? I don't know, right? But we've seen many times over the years, the Red Sox had a bad year and then they go right back to just doing amazing. You know, 2012 with Bobby Valentine, that was a disaster of a year, right? It was September 2011 all the way until September 2012. It was miserable for the Red Sox. And then no one saw them doing what they did in 2013. I'm just saying. So, I don't know. My ceiling for the Red Sox, I won't say they'll win a division, but they they can absolutely win a wild card. I don't see why they couldn't win a wild card. So that's as far as I'll go. If they win this division, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised because I've seen it before. I've seen it happen. But anyway, that's what my potato brain thinks about this Red Sox team. Agent D, how you doing, my friend? Vladdy Guerrero was born in 1999, a rabbit year in Chinese astrology. Canada was founded in 1867, a rabbit year, and 2023 is also a rabbit year. Lock it up, Blue Jays are winning in 2023. Oh, man, what analysis from Agent D. That might be, see, that's the kind of analysis that I'm looking for, man. That's what I like. Agent D, hey, man, I need you to stick around more. I need you to find me more of those kind of stats, man. I like that. Athletics 510. This is my 19th straight year as a season ticket holder. That's awesome. Man, I got to get season tickets, man. If Tampa Bay, if for some reason I ever move out to Tampa and they get their new stadium, if they build their new stadium in Tampa, I would go to so many games if I lived there. If I was right near Tropicana right now, I'd be going to so many games at Tropicana Field because they're cheap, right? And yeah, I can see my Red Sox a lot. I can go see the Yankees. I can go make fun of the Yankees when I'm over there, you know? I think that'd be pretty fun. I'd totally go see a Blue Jays-Rays game. I think that'd be really fun to watch. Good for you, man. Athletics 510. Enjoy opening day. But, man, everyone, I think I'm going to get out of here, man. Pat the Patriot, have you gotten the show 23 yet? I have not. I will probably get it at some point. So I really wanted to do MLB The Show content last year. I just ended up not getting around to it, you know. But I would like to. MLB The Show is not really my kind of game. I was always about MVP baseball. That was the best game. MLB The Show is great and all. It doesn't even touch MVP baseball. Sorry, that might not be a popular opinion, but I don't know. Anyway, everyone, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm getting tired, man. I'm getting tired. It's 11 o'clock. I gotta get to work in the morning. What's tomorrow? Is it Thursday? It's Thursday. But I'm so excited about opening day. I know all of you are too. Enjoy it. Really, watch as much baseball as you can tomorrow. Wake up, be excited for it. Feel like it's Christmas morning when you wake up tomorrow. And if you're going to a game tomorrow, really, enjoy it. Like, take it all in. Get there early. Okay, if you are going to a game tomorrow, please get there early, right? Don't make the mistake of trying to just get there like 30 minutes before the game. Absolutely don't try and get there at the first pitch, right? Don't get there a couple hours early, you know, even get there a few hours early. Go get some food somewhere because it's going to be busy, right? So please do not make that mistake. I did that in 2018. I got into a fender bender outside the stadium. I was outside the stadium like an hour prior. I ended up not making it to the game until like the fourth inning. So get there 2-3 hours early. Seriously, go get yourself some food, you know. Just do it. I promise you won't regret it. But enjoy it. If you are going tomorrow, take it all in. Take in the ceremonies. Enjoy everything about it. Get yourself some food. Get yourself a good cold beer if you're of age, right? Nice Diet Coke. Gotta watch those calories if you're underage. But everyone, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm tired. Enjoy opening day tomorrow. I'll probably be live tomorrow night, so be on the lookout for that. But everyone, thank you for stopping by tonight. I always appreciate all of you stopping by. Have yourself a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.